All right, guys, today we're out here at the lake. We're gonna try to catch a few trout. We got the marabou jig out. Let's see what we can do. All right, I'm not super experienced with trout, but I know one thing, they really like a tiny bait. So I've got a pink marabou jig, and we're just gonna cast it out here, work it slow, see if we can't catch some. Well, already broke off the marabou jig, so we're gonna dig in here and see what we can find. Water's relatively clear, so I think what I'm gonna try is just take a little jig head, just a crappie jig, and I really like these Bobby Garland. They almost look like miniature flukes, and I've done really well with trout on these in the past. So we're just gonna thread that on and try that for a minute. Should be a little more weedless, and I think it honestly has a lot better action than the marabou jig. So see if this will get any bites. Let's cut this tag end here. All right, we are ready. Get back fishing. Here's what we're working with. Looks pretty good to me. See what we can do. All right, now we've gone shallow, and this will probably be one of the last spots I hit. They may just not be biting today, but you never know. Sometimes these predator fish, you know, they corner these bait fish in shallow water, and there's only one way to find out if we're there. We're gonna get a line in the water. Well, after breaking that wind knot, I kind of hate to do it because I know they see a lot of it. We're gonna try on the good old faithful rooster tail. I know they see it all the time in this lake, but there's a reason why, because it works. Let's tie it on and just cover some water. Hopefully we'll get one. And for those of y'all wondering what knot I use for trout and panfish on ultralight gear, I just use, you know, regular old fisherman's knot, the one your grandpa probably taught you years and years ago. But I can tell you this, you know, being a bass fisherman too, you know, I know a lot of knots and, you know, that are technique specific. You know, they can get really complicated and, you know, ultimately really fancy. But with panfish, you do not need anything fancy. You just need something that's easy to tie and that'll hold the line. Well, like any fisherman, I lied. I said the last spot was gonna be the last spot. I found another good good trout hole that's done good in the past. And we're gonna give it a few casts with that same rooster tail and just see if we can make a last minute trout miracle. Well, after hours of fishing, wasn't able to land one today, but let's take you back to last year and just show you some of those awesome trout that I was able to catch. See y'all later. Trout on a beautiful day, going back. Look how pretty that fish is. Come on, buddy. Here's the biggest trout of my life, probably a 15 or 16 incher. All right, buddy. Go on back. Nice, pretty little trout. Going back. Go on. Thank you, Lord. First trout out of Eagle Lake. Going back.